Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Did Floyd Mayweather put duck sauce on the fried rice? You know Manny Pacquiao signed to PBC back around 2018 or so. And you know why he did that? Because he wanted to get that Floyd Mayweather rematch. That's why Manny Pacquiao aligned himself with PBC. He knew that Floyd had the Haymon and PBC connection, and in Manny Pacquiao's mind, the logic was pretty damn simple. If Manny wanted to secure the rematch with Floyd Money Mayweather, I make smart business decisions. I said it before. A minor setback for a major comeback. You know all the sound bites associated with Floyd Mayweather. But if Manny really wanted that rematch, I'll put it this way, if he didn't want it, he wouldn't have signed with PBC. Anyway, you figured that the rematch would have happened since they're being under the same promotional umbrella, but it never happened. So, after doing some research, I started finding out some stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I will tell you, when Manny decided to align himself with PBC, I thought it was going to be pretty promising. I said, okay, here we go. We're going to have the rematch. Floyd even attended Pacquiao's fight with Adrien Broner in 2019, teasing fans that the rematch was close to being made. Manny assumed it was inevitable. He was really, really hoping that it would happen, but it never did. So why didn't the rematch with Pacquiao happen? You're hearing all kind of things, because now there's rumored that the rematch is going to happen now. But at least for back then, let me give y'all a couple of real factors as to why that rematch didn't happen. Because the first one is Floyd felt he already won. Pretty much the end of the story. He felt the whole storyline was over. He won the fight, and it is what it is. Why rematch Pacquiao when Floyd's going to tell you he beat him easily? Also, why rematch a man who claimed he had a shoulder injury? So Floyd lost some respect for him. But Floyd's brand has always been about protecting his O. You know what I'm saying? He beat Manny in 2015, and in his eyes, the victory was decisive enough to shut down a whole rematch. It just, to him, there should have been no debating. Why have a rematch? To him, the fight wasn't even that close, and he didn't feel it was necessary. So you got to understand Floyd's perspective at the time. He already got the W, broke record, stamped his legacy. He wasn't trying to undo that. But there's a couple of things that I found out, but of course, you guys will tell me what you think. I'm going to get to that here in a second. And make sure you like and subscribe and become a member to the channel and leave that donation for the fried rice and chicken wings. Another reason why that rematch with Pacquiao didn't happen is the risk versus reward. Floyd, before anything, is a businessman. He's all about the Wu-Tang Cream. The first Pacquiao fight, them guys made over $500 million. $500 million, man. But the rematch, if they could guarantee Floyd that a rematch would have lived up to that and could have made another $500 million overall, he would have done it. But the rematch probably would never match that kind of revenue. You know what I'm saying? The hype was gone. Fans complained the first time around. The fight didn't live up to expectations. So why risk $1 billion legacy for a small pay-per-view payday? It just didn't make sense to him, especially when Floyd could go out here and make, 9 figures fighting Conor McGregor or these exhibitions against YouTubers. So it had to make sense to Floyd, and the risk versus reward, it just wasn't good medicine to Floyd Mayweather. But then at the same time, I think Floyd also said, all right, another reason why this rematch ain't gonna happen, because Pacquiao's goddamn dangerous, 2019 to 2020. You know what I mean? He went in there, he fought Broner, got the win. Pacquiao shocked the world by beating Keith Thurman in 2019 to become champion again. Floyd saw that, he said, shit. Manny Pacquiao looking sharp, he looking hungry, even at age 40. It's like this fight just became even riskier than me doing an exhibition against somebody like Logan Paul and making a bunch of money. So, of course, Floyd did what Floyd did. He's a guy later in his career took calculated risk, and that's all it was when it came to Manny Pacquiao. So he definitely put duck sauce on the fried rice. And one thing I'll tell you, with those calculated risks Floyd was taking, Manny Pacquiao, a rematch with him wasn't one of those calculated risks he was willing to take. So yeah, there was some duck sauce on the fried rice. But the money, but I think the number one reason the money just didn't line up. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're hearing all kind of things. You know, Floyd was offered serious money for the rematch, but it wasn't near what the first fight generated. You know, for Floyd Mayweather, it's like, yo, if it's not another $500 million fight, why bother? Why go back into the ring with this guy who was a threat at that time, and do something where I can make the same money fighting half a fight against a guy like Conor McGregor, or doing exhibitions that's far less dangerous. So that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But bottom line, he's avoiding the Manny Pacquiao fight, so he's putting duck sauce on the fried rice. But understand, Floyd wasn't scared. It was all strategic. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fans are saying, "Ah, man, Floyd put duck sauce on the fried rice because he was scared of Manny Pacquiao." Let me tell you something. Floyd would have beat Manny Pacquiao no matter when the two of them fought. The only thing I will say is I think there's two things Floyd did in his career that were brilliant. He didn't fight Margarito, and he didn't fight Pacquiao when Pacquiao was knocking everybody out. Because what we've learned is Margarito was a cheat. And Manny Pacquiao, when he started getting tested, he stopped getting knockouts. So Floyd, we should call him the soothsayer. Because it's almost like he knew what was going to happen with them two guys. I don't know how he knew, but somehow he knew. So you guys see the intuition, but I think he's a soothsayer with a crystal ball over here that's predicting the future and shit. Because Floyd knew something. But as far as Floyd being scared of Manny Pacquiao, I think it's more nuanced, man. I think Floyd wasn't scared in the traditional sense. He fought, he beat Canelo, Cotto, he beat other fighters at their peak. But he wasn't dumb. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't dumb. I think he knew with Manny Pacquiao, there definitely had to be the testing. But watching Pacquiao, again, just coming out here and fighting the way he was fighting. But then even Mayweather knew that, you know, he was aging. Talking about Floyd himself knew that he was aging. And with Manny's speed, volume, Floyd aging, he knew any mistake he made in that fight in a rematch with Pacquiao could cost him a zero. So for Floyd, the risk to reward ratio, it just wasn't worth it. But at the end of the day, exhibitions became easier money. You're in there. It's not a real fight, but you're staying in shape. You don't have to face a guy like Pacquiao in a rematch, and you can fight a Logan Paul. You can fight the Japanese fighter. You can fight a John Gotti. You know, you can fight a McGregor. And each fight made him tens of millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, without threatening his record and without being in a real fight. So from Floyd's business standpoint, it was genius. From a boxing fan standpoint, you know, it was frustrating. And from some fan standpoint, he put duck sauce on the fried rice. So when you strip everything down, the real reason Floyd didn't rematch Manny Pacquiao, I just don't think there was enough money on the table compared to how much of a risk was on the table. You know what I'm saying? I just think he wasn't really to deal with all the risk, you know. Floyd already had the bragging rights, secured the richest fight in boxing history, pay-per-view history, and can make easier money elsewhere. So, you know, a rematch it wouldn't have matched the first one, you know, financially. And the danger of losing to Pacquiao, especially when Pacquiao, the way he fought Keith Thurman, it outweighed the potential reward. So Floyd wasn't scared the way fans think he was scared. But yeah, he put duck sauce on the rematch because he knew the upside wasn't worth the downside. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask Manny Pacquiao's advisor, Sean Gibbons going to tell you that Floyd Mayweather is nothing but a coward who put gallons of duck sauce on the fried rice. He went on. I'm going to read you a quote, what this guy said. It's, where is it? Right here. This is what this guy said, right? Sean Gibson. We signed with PBC and Al Haymon 2019 to make Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather 2. Manny fought Adrien Broner. Floyd was right there watching the fight. Floyd may have thought Manny looked a little too sharp. So now he's saying, because of how Manny performed against Broner, and because Broner supposedly had the Mayweather style, that Mayweather was like, nah, Manny Pacquiao just may have my number. So he felt that Floyd chose to do something different to fight Manny Pacquiao. Now, how many of y'all believe that bullshit? I don't know if I buy into that, but this is what Sean Gibson is saying. Then he said, Manny goes on, fights Keith Thurman, drops him, beats him down. Now, if you watch that fight with Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman, it looked like he stepped on Keith Thurman's foot, but he did clip him. But about beating Keith Thurman down, he did not beat Keith Thurman down. So they can stop all that bullshit. But as far as Floyd was the first guy to leave the building before hearing the decision, Floyd was uneasy. Now, this is coming from Sean Gibson, all right? Then he goes on, Manny later comes back, fights Jordanis Ugas, and loses a decision. But now Manny is back. He just went into a fight and got robbed against Barrios. So now it's up to Floyd. Is he going to keep avoiding and ducking Manny Pacquiao? Because Manny Pacquiao is here to fight Floyd Mayweather. I'm like, damn. Then he says, I love Floyd. He's a great guy, but he retired or started doing boxing exhibitions while Manny is still a great fighter. Now, one thing we know about Floyd Mayweather, he knows, like Sean Gibson concludes, only Floyd knows what he's going to do. Manny's always available. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. So, Floyd's not going to sit there and let nobody disrespect him. Doesn't mean that's not how you get him in the ring. But you definitely can get his attention. But I don't think Floyd Mayweather was afraid of Manny Pacquiao. But he was avoiding him because Floyd, he really, really loves. That's his crown jewel, being an undefeated fighter. But I tell you what right now, man, for Floyd Mayweather, word on the street is he could be coming back. And Pacquiao, who's about to be 47, he was unfortunate not to get that decision against Barrios. He's looking to go do something else, maybe Rolly Romero for that WBA strap. But the number one reason why he's back is because Manny Pacquiao really wants that Floyd Mayweather fight. And I'm telling you, for those of y'all who's saying that, it won't happen, it can happen. It can happen. You know why it can happen? Because Turki Al-Sheikh loves Manny Pacquiao. He has a lot of respect for Manny Pacquiao. Turki Al-Sheikh is out here throwing money to the wind to help expand Riyadh season as a global sport and sports entertainment globally. Who better than Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather to get them to have a huge event somewhere under the Riyadh season banner? Talk about getting all eyes on the sport of boxing and himself and his country, Saudi Arabia, and what they're doing. So don't sit there and sleep on it. But I'll tell you what, if the price ain't right, Floyd Mayweather is going to keep putting duck sauce on the fried rice. Do I think he'll beat Manny Pacquiao right now? Of course. Do I think it's going to be a mash-up, crash-up like Pacquiao's calling for, going toe-to-toe? Nah, I don't think he's going to be no toe-to-toe nothing. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather ain't fighting shit toe-to-toe. He's going to move, use his legs, he's going to outbox you. And as far as someone saying Manny Pacquiao has the footwork and the foot speed to cut Floyd off, no, he doesn't. Not anymore. Pacquiao's tripping over them big-ass feet of his. Pacquiao was stationary at times. Don't get me wrong, Pacquiao's still a bad boy, but he ain't the same. Floyd would pick his ass apart. Floyd would have a field day in there with Manny Pacquiao. But anyway, let's wait and see how it all plays out. But to answer your question about Floyd, did he avoid Manny Pacquiao? Hell yeah, he avoided him. Not because he was scared, because the numbers don't make sense. Floyd ain't fighting. So let's see if they get the numbers right. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.